problem with the lionfish is that here they have no natural predators, and so without that predation pressure, they're able then to maximize the environment. So they have, for example, a very hearty appetite. They're very voracious predators, so they eat pretty much anything that they can fit in their mouths. They have no natural predators, and then they also have the built-in devices such as spines, which help to protect them from predators, even from humans to some extent. And so as a result of that, they pose a significant threat to our local reef fish populations, and also to livelihoods and food sustainability.
Baby. Where they're from in the Indo-Pacific Ocean, groupers, reef sharks, eat them quite happily. The same groupers, the same reef sharks that we have here in the Atlantic, the exact same species, when they see lionfish, don't recognize food. They don't recognize prey. So that's why they don't go after them. However, when the lionfish is badly injured, i.e. on the brink of death, or is in fact dead, most fish will take a bite. Alright? I've been surprised at when we kill the small lionfish, the other fish that come up and just go crazy on it, pecking away at it. Alright? So it's not that they don't want to eat it, it's just that when they're alive, the lionfish is so aggressive and presents itself as a predatory fish that these fish just tend to stick away. The spines of a lionfish are not for attack, they're for defense. So they don't use their spines to charge, they don't use their spines to jab fish, they don't use them for any other purpose than for defense of their own self. They also use the spines to corral fish into corners. So the side spines that they have, there's no venom in any of those side spines, alright? But they flare them out like this, and they then corner fish, and then they'll strike. The way lionfish strike is that they basically create a lot of suction and they suck the fish straight into the mouth. If you go on YouTube again, you can see videos, people have slowed it down. It's incredibly fast at how they can suck fish in and take them down. Lionfish will consume basically anything up to about half their own size. I pulled out some pretty big parrotfish out of the bellies of lionfish. One was almost the same size as the lionfish, I don't know how he managed to stuff it in there. My initial assumption was that the lionfish was pregnant because the belly was so full, and it turned out to be a big fish in there. Alright, but you can find lobsters, eels, stingrays, you can find all sorts of little baby fish inside the bellies of lionfish. One of the reasons they're so bad is that they prey on the young of almost everything. Alright, so they're not fussy, they'll eat virtually anything, and they're always going for the small fish. So the reason they're so devastating in the Atlantic is that our local native fish, when they reproduce and they're young, get gobbled up pretty quickly by the lionfish. So that's why again we kill them. So even if it's small, like you said, you're still going to kill it. Yeah. Because if you let it live, he's going to go on to keep eating and possibly reproduce and just make the situation worse. So if you think you see a lionfish, even if you just see a glint of something in the reef and you're like, oh, is that a lionfish? Go check it out. And if it is a lionfish, kill it or let one of us know and we'll go after it. Alright?
So here we have one barrier reef, if you like, which runs directly down the west coast and a bit around the south. So out of the 5 major dive shops that we have, like human nature, they predominantly go to the same locations. Therefore, the people that are keen on spearing lionfish are actually making an impact on those locations. Into there, and so they say that if one particular spot is hunted frequently, like you can cut the lionfish population down from 70 to 95%, they're saying. And that's what we're seeing in Barbados. So in my 4 years here, it's only been really the last 2 years that there's a lot of people actually, like Alex, deliberately going out and advertising to hunt lionfish. But it's gone to a point where 2.5 years ago, where you go to one site and people would say they're there every day, to now people are asking, oh, is the problem not that bad? Oh, we're not seeing them as much. So, but the reality is, it's not, they're not there, because they're everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But it is showing that the research that goes into saying if one specific area is hunted regularly, you can cut down the population from 70 to 90%. I think and that's what we're seeing in Barbados. So the government led the push for the 2014 Lionfish Derby. So part of the government push was they're putting all their resources and time into that one thing, which is a good effort from them, being a small group. So leading into next year, like, they set a very good example that someone just needed to copycat, really. That's all they need to do. So no dive shop or no other identity wanted to do it. So I put my hand up and asked around and said, right, I'll be that person for 2015. So my thought process was, I've got spare time, make a website, talk to everyone puts in a little bit of effort, but the way I changed the derby was, instead of it being just come down to the beach and it be a free feed and the information gets out about lionfish, my main aim was then we had 6 restaurants. So 6 supporting restaurants, they got involved by, leading up to the derby, they needed to source fishermen to buy their lionfish. So the transition from get free lionfish to now let's create an industry where we know there's fishermen, let's now get the fishermen paid, not only paid, but try to get it at a good price. A good price meaning the research shows that the lionfish is a healthier fish, it's lower in mercury and all those sorts of things than the other things like wahoo and amberjack and whatever. So fishermen catching lionfish, restaurants buying it at good value and then selling it on to the customer. Someone might hurt themselves cutting the fish. Oh, I don't know if it's healthy. There's enough information out there over the last 6 years now. You can say, look, I'll send you an email. Say if I was me and you're a chef, and you said, look, I don't know, how's it going to work? I go, hey, number one, there's 8 restaurants in Barbados now serving lionfish. So it can be served. 2, there's websites. There's the Barbados Lionfish Derby, which was last year. Yes, the Facebook page, Barbados Lionfish Project. There's reef.org. There's Bonaire that has, I think, about 12 restaurants. There's Florida that has about 20 restaurants that are selling lionfish. Like, you just can't fall back on now, oh, I'm scared of it. There's enough information out there. There's people like myself, people like Alex, people like Mark, from Marco Polo. You can go, look, we'll send you one email, all the information you want. We'll give you help if you need more. If you need someone to learn how to fillet a lionfish free of charge, it's no problem. But I think now, 2016, we've gone past the point of you can't be in a restaurant and saying, oh, I don't know if it is suitable. It is suitable and it's sustainable.
We sell, I say about 20, 25 pounds a day of the lionfish.
Wow.
But that's about 60 pounds of lionfish that we go through.
Divers will continue doing what they do to keep the lionfish numbers, you know, in check. Yeah. And maybe it won't get that bad. Or maybe it will. I mean, the lionfish can reproduce faster than we can catch them all, so maybe they'll outdo us.
3 years since I'm knocking on your door.